Good morning. It's the Call Flow Radio Show, and you're on the air.
Well, you can be if you give us a call at 434-394-0924. It is your Thursday, July the 25th edition. This is Chris Wood. With me is Noah Massage.
Hey,
Good morning,
Chris.
Noah.
How's it going?
It's going good.
Good. That's great. It's rainy out. I love this kind of weather.
Do you?
It's nice.
I'm as much as we needed the rain, I'm getting kind of
Don't say sick.
cabin fever
cabin
sort of
fever.
thing, you
Yeah.
know, because I like to be outside and doing stuff. And you know.
I am the complete opposite, but I get it. You know,
yeah. Well, you know,
it's important to get that vitamin D. Sunshine.
Oh yeah, pick
Super.
that up. And Iggy likes her runs and her rides and her swims, and I really want to get my deck done, finished, and everything. So
Yeah.
it's from a 2-week project
How-
staining. It's now becoming a month.
Oh no! I was going to ask you. Yeah, how's that coming along? So
The spindles are still unstained.
okay,
But that's okay. They're going to get stained this weekend because the weather's supposed to be really pretty.
Very
Perfect
nice.
for staining.
Chris, talking to a tennis diva as yourself, I will be playing.
Gee, thanks.
You are, Chris. What do you want me to lie and say you're not a tennis diva?
No, don't lie.
Okay. Well, I'm going to be playing tennis this weekend.
You are?
Yeah, Saturday.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any tips? Any pointers? Anything
Just
I should
try to
be
get
aware
the ball
of?
back into the court.
All right.
And keep your eye on the ball.
It's kind of like ping pong, right? It's essentially ping pong. Ping pong's the little ping pong ball. You
Yeah, I know
okay.
I know
Ping
what
pong
ping
ball.
pong is.
Speaking of ping pong balls, I don't know if I told you this or not, but for like my 9th birthday, no, I'm sorry, it wasn't my 9th. It was like my 12th birthday. My parents didn't really buy me presents because my birthday's so close to Christmas, and they were like, "We'll just give you extra presents at Christmas."
Yeah,
Anyways,
I know all about that. I'm very familiar with
you were
that.
born on Christmas, right? My dad, the one birthday present that I got, he just gave me a box of ping pong balls, like he picked up at Walmart, but we didn't have a ping pong table. And I thought he gave me the balls, and he was like, "We got you a table." But he was just like, "Here's some ping pong balls."
All right.
Yeah.
Hold that thought.
Of course.
Because I
Yes.
have a strange story to tell you about ping pong balls
Oh,
and the ping
goodness.
pong
Okay. All right.
table. Strange story.
Okay.
I thought we had a caller, but maybe we don't. I think that's probably Henry. He'll call back. Anyway, on this date, Indian lawyer and politician Pratibha Patil was sworn in as president of India, becoming the first woman to hold the office. That was in 2007. In 2000, a Concorde supersonic airplane, Air France Flight 4590, crashed outside Paris, killing all 109 people on board and 4 others on the ground. The event was believed to have hastened the end of all Concorde operations 3 years later. It was a beautiful airship. Beautiful. But they started having issues with it.
It happens.
1984, Soviet cosmonaut Svetlana Savitskaya became the first woman to walk in space. That was in 1984. Now let's go down a little bit here. 1978, Louise Brown, the first human conceived using in vitro fertilization, was born in England. 1965, if I can get these pop-ups to go away, at the Newport, Rhode Island Folk Festival, American singer and songwriter Bob Dylan initially eschewed his acoustic guitar to go electric. The controversial performance is considered one of the most pivotal moments in the history of rock and roll. Can you believe that?
That's crazy.
I wish that Don was here. He does a really good Bob Dylan impersonation.
Hey, I'm Bob Dylan. That's not a good. Well, it's a terrible impression.
Oh, I don't know. Somebody who has never heard Bob Dylan, that's good.
Bob Dylan's a person who can't sing.
No, he can't. He can sing, talk.
Yeah, that's right.
Talk, sing.
Yeah.
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 That's it. 1952, Puerto Rico attained its own government as a Commonwealth of the United States. Puerto Rico. Never been there. 1919, a member of the Foreign Ministry of the newly formed Soviet government, Lev Karakan, issued the Karakan Manifesto, in which he offered to relinquish all Soviet claims to the special rights and privileges in China won by Russian Tsarist government. Okay, 1906, Johnny Hodges, a jazz alto saxophonist who was a featured soloist in Duke Ellington's orchestra, known for his brilliant improvisational sense of composition, was born in Cambridge, Massachusetts.
Very, very nice.
Johnny Hodges. I know a Johnny Hodges. Yeah. He's my go-to for my air conditioning. All right, we'll take a call. Good morning, you're on the Call Flow Show.
Well, good morning, Chris.
Good morning, Henry. How are you doing today?
All right.
Good.
Yeah, doing okay. Hope everybody's well there.
We are well. Yeah, and we're well and wet. Is it raining at your house?
I have no idea.
Oh, okay.
I'm inside in my apartment, Chris's, and I can't really tell what's going on.
Oh, is it in the basement?
Yeah, basement apartment.
Oh, I see. Okay. All right. Well,
I know you heard about the robber in the recent bank robbery. The guy that robbed the bank had an armful of ladies' underwear, and when the police closed in, he gave them the slip.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
I had not heard that one before.
Oh, okay. Well, being raised on a farm, I remember, but you may not know, what is the best way to stop a charging bull?
I know the best way to. I know the best way to stop a charging buffalo is to run. What about charging bull?
Well, the best way to stop a charging bull is cut up his credit card.
Okay.
He can no longer charge.
Oh, charging bull. Okay, I got you. Woo-hoo. It's Thursday.
That's like going for a swim in the carpool. But I do have a serious thing. I've been asked to give a kind of a history of WFLO.
Oh, good.
And so, anyway, back in the mid-1940s, Ted Gray and his wife Carla wanted to have a radio station. So they looked at a map which showed where every station was located in Virginia. And they lived in Johnson City, Tennessee. Mm-hmm. And as they studied, they looked and there were no radio stations between Richmond and Lynchburg, and none between Charlottesville and South Boston. So they decided to build a radio station in the Farmville area because it was a central spot. So in August of 1947, WFLO went on the air. Mr. Gray was an owner and manager. Well, his wife, Carla, was the one that had the money. Mm-hmm. And so she financed everything. And it turned out she'd been married to Mr. Gray for just a short while. But she found out he was really living it up and always throwing a party and just running through her money, so she got rid of him. She divorced him and took back her first husband's name, who was Mr. Keys. Mm-hmm. So Carla Burnham Gray became Carla Keys. And back in those days, the 78 RPM records were the ones the stations used. And those were those old thick and easy to break 78 RPM records.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So there were many local bands that played live in the WFLO studio on East 3rd Street and then later on Cumberland Road.
Mm-hmm.
There was the Centenary Serenaders, the Odd Owens Band, Dorsey Higgins Band. There were solo singers, and on Sunday, Madam Minnie W. Allen and the Allenettes, and several other black bands. And there were, at that time, Chuck Malett was made the manager of WFLO. As after the former man was fired. All right, in 1956, in August, the station moved from where it used to be on 3rd Street. They moved out to where it is now. And by the 1950s, Bill and Mary Reed had a country music band, and they lived in the studios, WFLO studios, right where was recently Fran's office.
Mm-hmm.
That was a bedroom, and they had the kitchenette there with a gas stove, and so
yeah, that's where my office
there.
was. So you keep an eye on Francis.
Right.
Yeah,
there you go.
Mm-hmm.
And so they stayed there. They lived there for a couple of years, and that way they were able to travel out about 50 miles in all directions and do show dates. And at the station would be the publicity and to promote their shows. And back then, WFLO AM was the only one.
Mm-hmm.
The tower was 407 feet tall. However, the company that installed the tower ran out of things to do, and most people don't know, but they cut the steel cables that supported the tower, and it fell. The only part standing was the bottom 50 feet or so. I had gone to work there in the summer of 1956. So I was there broadcasting, and after the tower fell, we broadcast over this little short tower. And the replacement tower was 500 feet tall, and it had to be built at the correct frequency. It had to be custom built, and that took a year to get it built and put up. And the FCC allowed Flo to increase the height of the tower in 1961. So we had a 50,000 watt FM station and added on. So by then, John Wilson was president. Ms. Keys died and left the station to 5 of us. John later retired and appointed Gene Ike as manager. And then at Gene's death, John came back and served several more years as manager. And then he retired again and appointed Francis as the manager. And I had no desire whatsoever to be in any kind of a managership or boss or anything like that. And by the way, when Ms. Keys died, she left $95 million to Milligan College in Northeast Tennessee. I mean, so that shows that she was pretty wealthy.
Yeah.
But she had earned it. And she would go out on the street in her first years there in Johnson City in the early years of marriage. And she'd go out at night and stand and clap her hands and say, "Come in and see the movie." So she ended up owning a bunch of movie theaters, and that was the basis of where she had earned her money. Mm-hmm. And, of course, WFLO FM now is owned by a company headquartered in California and plays only the contemporary gospel music. And WFLO-AM, now owned by locals John and Donna Van Cleve of the Prospect area, and a couple of other folks who together own the WFLO AM, excuse me. Well, going back to 1958, I spent a week in Johnson City with Miss Keys, and she took care of her older sister who lived with her. And one day I was talking with her when she got a phone call from an oil company, and they told her they were going to build an all-night service station next door to her house. Well, she said her sister would never be able to sleep with all the racket going on, cars in and out. It's going to be an all-night service station. So Ms. Keys, and I heard her make this call because she had gotten a call from that oil company, and we were all in the same room there, and she took the phone call. And anyway, when they told her that, she said if the oil company had built next to her house, several things could happen. She said the first thing, she'd be willing to pay them more than the property was worth if they would sell the property to her. But if they refused to do that, the second option, they could build a station, but she would have the city condemn the building and tear it down. Or the third option, she would buy the oil company that wanted to build on it. So they sold the place to her, and she built a building with 24 apartments there. Now, after the building was complete, her boat captain told me that she searched, that she found 24 of her old friends she had known before she made a lot of money. She moved these 24 families into that apartment building, and they were struggling financially. She had checked that out, and so she gave them free housing. And she had an older black gentleman who looked after everything, and he told me that one of his duties was every week he would go to the grocery store with a truck, and he would go by and get orders from all the families of what they needed, and then he would go and buy that food and haul it to the apartments and hand it out as needed. Whatever they ordered, he would deliver to that particular apartment. And this was all free, as Ms. Keys paid it all.
She was quite the humanitarian.
Yes. In the mid-1950s, she took 25 members of the Johnson City Ladies Club on a 6-week tour of Europe. And they stayed for 2 weeks in the palace of Marshal Tito, the president of Yugoslavia.
Wow.
And yet, it's strange that there's an old gentleman named Sam Lochner, lived out in Cumberland, and one time she was visiting. She told me she wanted to go there to see the old man. He was a poor old man that had lived at Johnson City. And when they built the TVA dam there, it put a lot of them out of their homes, and many of them ended up in central Virginia. So he was just a plain old countryman who lived alone. And when they, as I said, created that TVA, Tennessee Valley Authority, he had moved up to Virginia, and I remember taking her down there and visiting the old man, and sat there and listening to this ultra-rich lady and this old poor gentleman as they sat there and reminisced about the old days, because they had known each other. And it's hard for me to believe, but as of now, WFLO has been carrying my voice for over 68 years.
That's amazing.
And little did I realize back then, because when WFLO had only been on the air 9 years when I went to work for them. And part of my history was back in 2006. And I may have mentioned this before, but that 2006, the U.S. Congress declared Henry Fulcher Day in America. The U.S. flag was flown in my honor over the Pentagon, and there's an exhibit honoring the station, but it was a thing with my picture and write-up in the Smithsonian in this section, History of Broadcasting.
Mm-hmm.
And, Chris, I can't imagine what my life would have been if there'd never been a WFLO.
I know.
And I thank all for forgiveness of my mistakes, and I thank God for forgiving all of my sins. But anyway, I told you a few of the things that I recall. I mean, it's hard for me to imagine that I was there in the time when all these things happened. It's just amazing.
And we're thankful. We're thankful to you, Henry, for sticking around and telling us all about it. There's a lot of information there that I never knew about.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember going in, and the tower was laying up towards the parking lot.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a little creek in the bottom there, or the drainage.
Mm-hmm.
And it came across that drainage area. And if it had been, if the whole tower, including that 50 feet bottom, if it had fallen, it would have been well up into the parking lot.
That's right.
So, but anyway, they took what looked like a disaster and turned it into an improvement.
Absolutely.
By getting the extra 100 feet on the tower. And it's been an amazing journey, Chris.
It has that, and we just enjoy listening to you tell us about some of the stories about WFLO and your experiences with it and with others as well. And maybe we can do that again next Tuesday. We can take up on that again. Okay?
Beg pardon?
I said maybe you can continue that next Tuesday when you call in. That would be nice. Okay?
Yeah. All right.
Sounds great.
Thank you all. And my number is 414-0096.
Okay. All right.
Anybody wants to call.
All right.
Thank you, dear.
Thank you so much. We appreciate that. Mm-hmm. All right. Take care.
You.
Love you. Bye-bye.
God bless. Bye-bye.
All right. Some history there that I didn't know about Mrs. Keys and her philanthropic ways and what she had done for the radio station. But Henry's right. WFLO has been part of his life for a long, long, long time.
Many
of mine too,
and like listeners. Even
the listeners,
too.
The listeners used to plan their day according to WFLO. It was amazing. Anyway, great information from Henry there. All right, we are at the bottom of the hour. It's 8:32. So let's get to our weather forecast coming up. Then we've got some birthdays. And after that, we'll take more calls. And if not, I've got some interesting things about the state of Virginia that will be fun to talk about. Your forecast for today calls for rain, and that's at 80%, basically showers. Look for a high of 82 degrees. For tonight, we'll see a chance of some thunderstorms and a slight chance of showers. Look for a low of 66 degrees. Now, tomorrow, we'll see sunshine, partly cloudy or partly sunny, either way you want to put it. A high of 84 degrees. For Friday night, partly cloudy with a low of 63. Lots of sunshine on Saturday with a high of 86 degrees. For Saturday night, we'll see a low of 63 under clear skies. On Sunday, an absolutely beautiful day, beautiful summer day. Lots of sunshine with a high of 87. Sunday night, partly cloudy with a low of 66. And for Monday of next week, we'll see partly sunny skies with that ever-present 30% chance of some thunderstorms developing with a high of 84. Humidity at 100%. We have calm winds. Our barometer at 30.15 inches. We do have some light rain outside. Our current temperature has not changed. It is at 72 degrees. That's your weather forecast. We've got our birthdays and perhaps anniversaries coming up. Brought to you by Creative Electrical Contractors, located at 1907 East 3rd Street in Farmville.
Creative Electrical Contractors specializes in commercial and industrial projects and offers quality work at competitive prices. CEC is a licensed Class A contractor in Virginia and North Carolina. Creative Electrical Contractors has been in business for 25 years, still committed to the values that were established when the company opened in 1998. Integrity, quality workmanship, and timely delivery. CEC, located at 1907 East 3rd Street, Farmville. You can contact CEC at 434-392-3802 or at creative-electrical.com.
That is your cue, Noah Massage.
Okay, Chris. Okay.
Yeah, we've got the birthdays and perhaps anniversaries for today. And today is, July the
25th.
5th.
We got a little bit of both, so let me just get right into it.
Just get into it.
Starting off, we have McKenna Falwell. We also have Larry Roden, Mike Goodman, Elijah Bird, Thomas Newton of New Canton. That's fun.
Uh-huh.
Thomas Newton of New Canton. And last but not least, Bob and Donna Browning. It's the 1 anniversary.
I know Bob and Donna Browning.
You do?
Yes. They've been married forever. No, they've been around and good listeners too. They're faithful listeners to WFLO. So
happy anniversary to them, and happy birthday to everybody else. And
Okay.
if they want to get those emails, or if they want to reach, give us a birthday or anniversary, you can email that to birthdays@wflo.net, or you can call 434-394-0924.
Sounds like a plan.
Okie dokie.
Okay. The birthday calendar brought to you by Creative Electrical Contractors. If it's not right, they'll make it right. Call 434-392-2802.
I want to get into these fun Virginia facts, but I believe, weren't you saying that you had a ping pong story you were going to tell me, Chris?
I thought you'd forget about that.
What?
Anyway,
I don't
yes,
forget
I do.
anything, Chris.
It's weird.
I love a good weird story.
Okay.
That's totally what I'm for.
All right. When I was 10, and we moved out to Greeley, Colorado, and of course we had to live in a motel, where they have these apartments that you can live in, we had to live in there for about 6 or 7 weeks while our house was being finished constructed, okay? And it was a brick house. And it had a half basement to it. And in that basement, we put a ping pong table down there. And that was where my older brother lived, too. They had a bedroom with a half bath and stuff down in the basement. So there were 6 of us, 4 children and my parents. Anyway, so I had, with the basement and everything, you have these vents that come up for the heat and everything. But they also, they have, what do I want to say? You can hear sound, from the basement up there. So one night, we'd been playing ping pong. It was all this kind of stuff. But anyway, one night, I was asleep, and all of a sudden, and it was about 12 midnight or so, or in the wee hours, I heard somebody bouncing a ping pong ball on the ping pong table.
Yeah.
And it was echoing up through
It's almost like an invitation to play a little bit. It's
yeah,
like,
it was weird.
hey,
There was nobody playing ping pong.
Oh, nobody was.
No, everybody was asleep. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So I went in to my parents' bedroom.
Yeah.
And I told them, I said, somebody's playing ping pong downstairs. Somebody's bouncing a ping pong ball on the table. So my dad went to the basement door, opened it up, and everything was dark. Everything was quiet. All that. So he said, no, Chris, you were just dreaming, just going back to sleep. And so I tried, and about 20 or 30 minutes later, ping, 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 pong, pong, all that. So then I really freaked out. And I said, no, I'm not sleeping in my bedroom. I'm going to sleep with you guys. I was like 12 years old at that time. Anyway, it was weird. It was very weird. It was very weird. Have you got goosebumps yet?
Yeah. That's concerning. Wow.
Yeah. So anyway, I didn't play ping pong there for a while.
How do you like how do you explain that in your head? Do you think
In my
it's
head?
like,
I don't know. There was somebody down there bouncing the ball.
you think it was like paranormal?
It could have been.
Perhaps? Ooh, that's scary, Chris.
Yeah, it is a little scary. It was a little scary. All right. 434-394-0924
I'd love to hear a paranormal story from a caller. I think that might be interesting. If anybody, because they're interesting. I've had some weird stuff like that happen before, and I don't think any of it's paranormal, but I like to imagine because it's unexplainable. I don't have a good explanation.
It wasn't like I was asleep.
Yeah.
I was awake.
That's what
I heard that sound.
Yeah, and then when you're a little kid, of course, everybody's gonna be like, "Oh, you were dreaming," but you can't explain to them that you were wide awake and you're just hearing this noise. That's concerning. Could have it been something like in the vent, maybe, or no? It's got to be the ping pong table. That's okay.
Yeah. It was definitely somebody was bouncing a ping pong ball with a ping pong paddle on the ping pong table.
On the ping pong table.
Yeah, and then there was nobody there.
Ping pong.
All right, let's get to some celebrity birthdays quickly here for this July the 25th. Model and actress Iman turned 69. Oh, Matt LeBlanc turns 57. He's put on a little weight.
A little bit.
Matt has, yeah. He's changed a whole lot. His fun fact, he has a daughter named Marina.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so Matt LeBlanc's having a birthday today, 57. Actor D.B. Woodside. Have you ever heard of?
I don't think so. Not offhand.
Okay. He turns 55. Fun fact is, DB stands for David Bryan. That's a nice name. Okay. Meg Donnelly turns 23. She served as the understudy for one of the Von Trapp children in the Sound of Music live TV special. That's interesting.
It is.
Yeah. Let's see. Some other celebrity birthdays. Singer-guitarist Bruce Woodley of the Seekers is 82. Drummer Jim McCartney of the Yardbirds turns 81. Bassist Verdine White of Earth, Wind, and Fire, 73 today. Guitarist Jim Finer of the Pogues, I think that's how you pronounce it, is 69. Cartoonist Ray Billingsley of Curtis is 67. Guitarist Thurston Moore of Sonic Youth is 66. Do you know him?
Oh, yeah.
No.
Yeah. Great band. Great guitarist. Big fan.
Celebrity chef Joffrey Zakarian Zakarian, that's what it's pronounced, Zakarian, is 65. Actor Robbie Eakes of All My Children and The Bold and the Beautiful is 63. Actor Catherine Kelly Lang of The Bold and the Beautiful is also 63. Actor Alina Douglas, 63. Country singer Marty Brown is 59. Actor Wendy Raquel Robinson of TV's Grand Hotel and The Steve Harvey Show is 57. Cellist Paavo, Lachonen, Lajonen of Apocalyptica is 56. Actor Miriam Shore of Swingtown and Hedwig and Angry Inch is 53. Boy, some of these names are just, of these bands, is
Wild.
Actor David Denman of Parenthood and The Office is 51. And I'll go one more. Actor J.R. Ferguson of Mad Men is 50. So there we go. Those are celebrity birthdays for today. Now, time is 8:43. Lines are open, 434-394-0924. All right, 9 surprising facts you didn't know about Virginia. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right. This is sort of a prelude. Virginia is a multitudinous state and a sometimes surprising one. For every tame convention, there's a secret buried somewhere in its post-colonial history. Okay? Mm-hmm. We've uncovered a few facts. Did you know that the following were true in Virginia? It's illegal to tickle women in Virginia. I got a response. You read that. Yes, you read that right. You have you have to find another way to extract reluctant laughter from your Virginia-based countrywoman. A pretty strange law coming from a state with the self-diagnosed motto, Virginia is for lovers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Anyway, I don't know if it's still on the books.
What kind of jail time can you get for that?
I don't know. I don't even know if it's still on the books. But anyway,
that's
that's a fun fact about Virginia. The first actual Thanksgiving happened in Virginia. In 1621, Pilgrim and Native American alike gathered in Plymouth for what is widely regarded as the first celebration of Thanksgiving. 2 years prior, however, on December 4th, 1619, a group of Virginians gathered to eat and pray in Berkeley. Take that, Massachusetts. Okay. Another one. Virginians fall victim to vanity when it comes to license plates. Anyway, Virginia has a higher concentration of customized license plates called vanity plates than any other state in the country. Approximately 1 of every 10 vanity plates comes from Virginia. It seems like Virginians have something special they'd like to tell you, and it probably involves getting off their tail. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Let's see. We're the point of origin for streaking and frats. Despite its aristocratic origins, Virginia is also the provenance of fraternities and streaking. Phi Beta Kappa was founded as the first intercollegiate fraternity at the College of William and Mary in 1776. Pretty prestigious, right? Well, on a less prestigious note, rumor holds that George William Crump was the first American college student to be arrested for streaking in 1804.
Man, that was a long time ago to be doing that. Jeez.
I know. Let's see. Before Virginia was divided into counties, it was segmented into what are known as shires. Mm. Yeah, that's right. The places that Tolkien's hobbits lived, well, while Gandalf and old Gaffer were never officially recorded as visitors, it's nice to think of 17th century Virginia as Middle Earth. Going back to shires. 8 presidents have been born on Virginia soil. The heroic journey didn't end with Greek myths. Wait a minute. I'm getting ahead of myself. More presidents have been born in Virginia than in any other state. Can you name them?
No.
George Washington.
Yeah.
Thomas Jefferson, of course. James Madison. James Monroe.
Okay.
William Harrison. John Tyler. Zachary Taylor. And Woodrow Wilson.
Oh, wow.
We sometimes wonder if these guys had vanity plates as well. You know. Anyway. Virginia has its own Hercules. The heroic journey didn't end with the Greek myths. Abandoned as a child, Peter Francisco grew into a mighty American war hero. Standing at 6'6", he towered over average men of the time. He purportedly stole an 1,100-pound cannon from the British, slung it over his shoulders, and carried it back to his side of of the front, slaying enemies and saving allies along the way. So, Peter Francisco, he's done a lot for our state. Okay, I'll do one more. The Oyster and Maritime Museum of Chincoteague Island is the only one of its sort. Given the range of oyster festivals also held in the state, it's clear that Virginia has a deep connection with the bivalve mollusk. We're not exactly sure what to do with this information, but we're darn proud of it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it has the world's only oyster museum. So there you go.
Interesting.
Fun facts. All right, we'll take this caller. Good morning. You're on the Call Flow Show.
Oh, good morning. How are you guys today?
We're good. How are you?
Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay, fine, thanks. I got a comment about, there was an article on the radio, the papers, about a new restaurant coming to town. Mm-hmm. Did you guys catch that?
We did. I did. I don't know. Did you see that, Chris? That
No, I didn't see it.
They're making or putting up a new restaurant in Farmville, downtown.
All right. Do you know the name of it?
Well, I don't know. They didn't tell us the name of it, but I kind of have an issue with. They seem to have we seem to be over-restauranted.
An overabundance of restaurants. I agree.
Yes. Yeah, and it seems like now we're going to start to see a failure rate, and then it's going to kind of deter anybody from wanting to invest in a restaurant in the town.
Or you can say that if it depends on what they cook or what they serve. I would think.
Yeah. Yes, it does. I mean, I can't picture that part of town having anything but fast food.
Well, where's it going to be located?
I kind of picture it like right in front of the bowling alley. There's a little like a chalet kind of place. I think they're going to
like the car lot.
There would be a car lot on one side of it, yes, and then you have the bowling alley in the back of it, and then in front there's this little wooden structure.
Oh, okay.
That's kind of where I picture it being.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's Restaurant Row.
Yeah,
I would say yes. I think they have more restaurants than people. And
my parents actually. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Your parents what?
Go ahead, sir.
Okay, I was just going to say my parents had a restaurant right across the street from the bowling alley when it used to be the BP gas station. And it used to be like one side was the gas station and then the other one was like restaurant space. We had an Italian restaurant called Risaldi's for 1 year or like a little bit less than a year.
I remember that.
Yeah, that was I want to say back in like 2011 or 12. It was, quite a while ago, but yeah, I think we closed close to the year anniversary, but it was like probably 10 months in or so. Mm-hmm. But it's hard for like restaurants to make it in a small town. I feel like it's interesting. You gotta corner a market. You gotta like provide something nobody else is doing.
That's right.
A specialty,
Mm-hmm.
And also customer service too. Because like bad customer service will drive people will be like, I'm not going back to that place because I had one bad experience. Mm-hmm. And I get that because as a paying customer of many fine establishments, if I have a bad experience, I might give it a second shot, being like maybe somebody was having a bad day. But if like it's a steady decline in quality in customer service. It's just like, yeah, you're going to turn a lot of people away. So I don't know. It's a tough blend between like, and also location. You know, you got to be where people, it's easily accessible, preferably in walking distance. And that part of town, not really the best for like just walking. It's kind of like, you know, bowling alley. You get the Sheets right over there. Not really any sidewalks to walk. So you're going to have to drive there. So they got to really have a good like sit in.
Yeah, and there's isn't there a Domino's?
There's a
Domino's
and Little Caesars. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, right around that area as well.
That's right.
Yeah, but I just feel like that you have, if you're going to succeed in anything like jewelry, if selling jewelry at these craft shows, and they have people making I don't know, towels and stuff like that, but you've got to have something unique,
yeah, definitely.
In order to.
There's not a Greek food place in Farmville. I think if they did that, that could be interesting. People love, different. I don't want to say exotic, but kind of like like Greek. So a lot of cucumber, like goat cheese tzatziki. I'm pronouncing it wrong, but like tzatziki sauce. I don't know. I think that might be interesting. Like gyros, very. Lamb. They just have like oh man, I love lamb, Chris. I don't know how you feel about lamb.
Well, talking lamb, I do love. I like lamb. I don't cook a lot of it. I used to, but now I don't. But I had an experience at a wedding, and they served lamb. And oh my gosh, it was just fantastic. But anyway, back to our caller. You're not giving us much information here, and I guess maybe
the article was very kind of just
vague.
It was very vague, but essentially, I think they're like it I don't want to say it passed, but like they approved like a restaurant being built or like put in. So that's all they gave. They didn't give what type of food or like what it's going to be called, nothing like that. So it's very vague. Yeah. Could be anything. It could be a Greek place.
It could be.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, I think they are. I think they're going to start breaking ground at the end of the year. But do you think a high end or more of a fast food would make it there? Or I'm not even sure if we have any. What would you classify a high end in Farmville?
We have a couple, maybe.
I would say,
Okay.
There's a couple, higher end, but that would be interesting. I don't think there's that many though, because Press Club is super nice on the inside, but is it like where you would book a reservation? I would say probably like a little bit less so. But Charlie's, you can like. Is more of like, I would say,
a high end.
Yeah, high end. But it would be cool to have like a restaurant with like waiters wearing like tuxedos and just like, like they have the little platters and they're holding it like this, Chris. You know what I mean, with the little lid, like the dome lid. I don't know. Yeah. I think like a really nice. And caller, I think you were like talking about like there's an overabundance of restaurants. I think this is when we start refining the restaurants in Farmville. If there's like too many fast food, which I feel like we do have a lot of fast food. We have almost every chain. We don't have a Dairy Queen. We did though.
We did.
That was fun.
Or Tasty Free.
Yeah. But I think. It's close to the time to start refining like what we have, just kind of like weeding out the so-so ones.
Also, it being a college town, is two college.
That's right.
Anyway, you have Hampton, Sydney, and Longwood. It would vary, especially in the summertime when the faculty and the kids are away. As to, but that's it's just a 6-week or less time period. Yeah. But it's different. With having them here because you have different tastes.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Different appetites and things like that. So it's a catch. It really is. But like I said, we don't know. What kind of restaurant it's going to be. So it will be interesting. And it's always a curiosity, too. When they first open. And you've got to remember how your service is and if the food's brought to you, what temperature it's supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
Francis was always telling me, he said, "How do you get everything cooked up and hot at the table?" I
Yeah.
said, "Well, you just have to plan it that way." Yeah.
I like to bring a thermometer with me anytime I go out to eat. Just like sneak one in.
Amazing.
Check the steak real fast.
Yeah.
Yes. You know, when I was in the Annapolis area, they would have food inspectors. Mm-hmm. And they would write them all up in the papers. Every week you'd see in food inspectors, and usually they'd bang you for, just temperature, which is probably just about every restaurant out there has some temperatures that aren't considered acceptable to them. Mm-hmm. But do you guys know if there is anything like that in this area supposed to be? I guess food inspections.
Health inspector?
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
There are definitely.
But I've never, because I've been in some places and I'm like, man, this is, this ain't the gig.
No.
And
when I do walk into a restaurant, I check the floor.
Yeah.
To make sure that
it's amazing what you can find on the floor. I once went into a restaurant, I won't say which one, but it was in Farmville, and I swear to God, there was a dead mouse.
Oh dear.
Under a table.
Ugh.
Trust me, it's none of the ones that you think it is, but it's like a more obscure one for Farmville. Mm-hmm. But it was shocking. It was jarring.
Jarring, yeah.
And I was. Yeah.
Yeah, there was always this joke in Annapolis. In Annapolis, it's the buildings are very old and it's very congested. Mm-hmm. And I guess they would maybe every once in a while a restaurant would get banged for roaches. And I guess the joke was the only thing the roaches do is move to the place next door. Mm-hmm. When they go in and, exterminate and blah, blah. Mm-hmm. So, and that's probably so true.
That's true. All right. Well, we've got to go. As usual, we'll get into something interesting and we've got to go. So anyway, you have a great remainder of your day.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for calling. All right. Take care.
Thanks for your time.
Mm-hmm.
Bye-bye.
Mm-hmm. Goodbye.
All right. It's been an interesting show today.
It has
been. Lots of fun.
Very fun, Chris.
All right. Unfortunately, we do have to leave, and we'll be back tomorrow. Okay. All right.
Bye.
Take care.